If you're a viewer of mine, you most likely know about my series of growing figure hands and wanna know if it worked or not, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I've gained from it. I started this routine because I wanted to get better at arm wrestling and got kinda impressed by day one results, so I made it a series. Turns out my hands were just inflated, but I didn't know that at the time and decided to give it a go. Fast forward to day 200, did my hands grow? Yes, the muscles definitely did. I don't have much pictures of my hands before because I didn't know it was gonna get serious. But the whole thumb part got bigger and stronger, along with some unexpected wrist growth and expected forearm growth. Even my biceps got bigger, of course. Now, some people may ask if training the same muscles every day is detrimental to growth, which I don't think that's the case. If you look at my younger self, I was doing biceps curls since the age of 5. Did it every day for a long period of my life, and even with a really bad diet, I had 35 centimeters biceps at 15, so I don't think doing light work every day will stunt your growth. Now, if you doubt that, you can always rest your forearm on any surface that will take the biceps out of the equation. Nonetheless, I think it's a great hand exercise, but more of a forearm one. As I just said, when I started this journey, my hands got inflated because of the belt rubbing, and I didn't know it at the time, so I named it this way and kept it as time went on. But I'm not even sure if I can attribute 100% of my hand gains to this specific routine, because I was doing much more on the side, like raise bucket training, which is known to make hands bigger. But what I'm sure of is that it gave me crazy forearm gains. I went from less than 13.5 inches pumped to 15. It could also be attributed to other training methods, but I still get a crazy pump when I do them, and I have a lot of guys telling me that they're seeing incredible results so far. So the mistake I see a lot of guys doing is that they will completely bounce the weight around like this. You just want to control the movement, man. You want to give it slight impulses, just like this, not more. I think that's the problem with most guys that tell me they are facing wrist pain. You just don't control the movement enough, and same goes for the pronation. Just I don't like doing more than this, it's just gonna hurt. I made a video back then like pronation training, and I was really going all the way like this, and that just gives wrist pain. At the time it gave me wrist pain. It doesn't anymore, it's almost like my wrist became stronger. Well, it became bigger, so it wouldn't surprise me that it got stronger as well. Second mistake I see guys doing is that they will go too heavy, just like I did on day 19. I had an intense wrist pain the days after, but even worse, it's also because I used a smaller belt that put all the pressure on an even smaller point, and that made it extremely painful, I tell you what. So that's why you should use a belt that is fairly thick. I've linked the one I use in the description. I told you my wrist got bigger, and this is the results. Can't even for the hand, man, it's becoming too tight. Okay. Not sure if you can see, but it's really tight right now, and it's painful to wear it. I can't do it anymore without being hurt. So I gained 1.5 centimeters on my wrist since I started. You can be sure I'm not making this up because I had this watch for a long time. I probably got it for my 15th birthday, and I was completely floating in it, like you can see on the picture. Now, I gained a lot of weight since then, but when I started, my wrists were exactly 16.5 centimeters and now are 18. So I'm certain it's not because of the bulk, because I store literally no fat around my wrists, at least yet. So could I attribute my wrist gains to this routine? Well, once again, I can't know, as I trained in a lot of different ways beside it. Now you probably want to know how to implement this routine in your life. What about the gym? Should I do this every day? Recovery? What weight should I use? And what if I don't have a judo belt? Etc. Don't worry, it's pretty simple. So this routine is supposed to be light training, at least that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get some heavy PRs for arm wrestling performance. So you will want to choose a weight that you could easily do 60 reps with, multiple times. I do each of those for 5 sets of 60. Now, why 60 you may ask? Well, it's just because I like it this way. You could do this every day, as long as you're not sore from the previous day, which shouldn't happen since it's light work. The only time I would advise to not do it is when you have some sort of back and biceps day, or at least try to do it after the session so your biceps are completely fresh. And if you don't have a judo belt yet, you can tie a towel to your weight or even use a backpack. As for the rest time between sets, what I did when I started was 1 set each arms, then rest for less than a minute and do it again. Also, a lot of you asked me how do I progressively overload if I'm not upping the weight, and I think the only thing I changed since the beginning is the rest time I take between sets. So I stopped taking any for a long time now, and I'm still getting nice pumps. So I don't intend on going up in weight. It might seem odd for new lifters, but from my 6 years experience, you should do what feels best, and as long as you see gains, there's no need to follow conventional advices. The next thing I want to touch on, I'm not even sure myself how I got there, but my left thumb got bigger for some reasons. So I had this ring for a long time that I could put on every one of my fingers without difficulty. And now I simply can't anymore for the left thumb, like it would be too painful to even try. This could make sense to think that my thumbs got bigger because of the way I hold the belt. I not only pronate but do a slight thumb flexion every rep that also pumps them. And the reason why my left is bigger than my right now is probably because I'm left-handed. If you want to do this routine, you may also watch out about the huge callus that can potentially form. I kept mine for a long time without taking care of it, to the point where people thought I had some kind of infection. And it got pretty ugly, like it would just start to crack open and bleed randomly if I moved my fingers too much. At first I wanted to keep it, but let's face it, you don't want to shake the hand of someone who has this atrocity on it. So I just applied cream. This can easily be avoided by placing the belt over your knuckles, not close to the thumb, as I did for a long time. Now, how to place the belt with your hands, pretty simple as well, but I know a lot of guys also ask me this. So for depronation, as I said, place it over your knuckles instead of between your thumb and index. It will make it more difficult because it's further away from your biceps, as well as preventing the callus. Same goes for rising. I don't place it exactly on my knuckles because the chance of it slipping is pretty high and you could hurt your wrists potentially. And also a little tip, I place the belt so my wrists aren't getting strangled by it. I'm not sure how to say that, but just make it loose and it forces you to hold it tighter with your thumbs while doing the pronation, and it will put all the pressure at the right place while rising. Now let's finally end this video with the most recurring questions you asked me on all socials. So how tall are you? I am 179, it's about a bit smaller than 5'11". Can you do the grip strength test? Yes, I had a gripper back then that was 250 pounds and I never managed to close it, like I was a millimeter away from doing so. Then it broke and I still haven't bought a new one. My diet and workout routine, this will be in an upcoming video. So I pretty much answered everything, but yeah, about what I do for biceps, I think this will be my next video. I recorded my entire back and biceps, so yeah. What's your objective training forearms that much? Well, I've always wanted to be like my grandfather, like he's always been really hardworking and has done pretty much every manual job ever. And also I really like Popeye. Did your fingers get thicker as well? Nope, only the thumb themselves and the hand muscles did. Compare your forearms to upper arms, which is bigger? Well, obviously my upper arms are. For instance, my left biceps is 42 centimeters without a pump, and my left forearm is a bit more than 38 with a pump. Did it improve your grip and pinch strength? It only improved my pinch strength, like it's not really a grip exercise. When did you start noticing results? Well, I think it was fairly quick. I'd say around day 10, like the upper part of my forearms got pretty big. But yeah, this will be all for this video. It was pretty lengthy. I hope I answered every one of your questions. If I didn't, leave a comment. I'll try to answer most of them. And see you in the next one. It's probably gonna be back and biceps.